30,000 pages. That's roughly what has been released so far. It's a lot. It's given us names, fight logs, and sickening details like the Amazon purchase history we discussed recently. But that is crumbles. The real story isn't what we have. The real story is what they are still holding 5.2 million pages. Welcome back to the value of questions. We need to talk about the scope of this. The Department of Justice confirmed they are currently processing a backlog of over 5 million documents related to the Epstein case. Let's visualize that. If you stacked 5.2 standard sheets of paper, that tower would be nearly 5 times taller than the Empire State Building. That is a mountain of evidence. A mountain that large doesn't just contain fight logs. It contains financial records, complex communication networks, intelligence ties, and blackmail operations. You don't generate 5 million pages running a social club. You generate that running a global enterprise. And right now, government officials with black markers are deciding what parts of that mountain we get to see. This leads to our first crucial question today. We have to evaluate the premise we've been sold for years, given the sheer overwhelming volume of 5.2 million pages of evidence. How does this massive number force you to evaluate the probability that this entire operation was run by just 1 or 2 people rather than a massive coordinated network? Think about the logistics required to create that much prepared work. Let me know your thoughts down below. The current concern among investigators isn't just when we get these files, but what they will look like when we do. We've already seen exclusive redactions in the early batches, entire pages blacked out to protect privacy or ongoing investigations, but with 5.2 million pages at stake, the potential for hiding smoking guns under black ink is astronomical. We are trusting the very institutions that failed to stop him for decades to now be the arbiters of transparency. We have to synthesize what we know about government secrecy with the reality of this case. If the DOJ determines that protecting national security interests or the reputations of powerful individuals is more important than full transparency, how do you predict the general public will react when the final heavily redacted version of these millions of pages is eventually released? Do you think people will accept it, or will it trigger a bigger backlash? The reality is we are currently fighting over the tip of the iceberg, while the remaining 90% isn't still underwater, being scrubbed by federal agents. The most damaging information, the money trades, the intelligence connections, is almost certainly deep in that 5.2 million page backlog. And that brings us to the ultimate question of justice. Considering that the most critical evidence regarding financial backers and intelligence ties is likely hidden deep within this unreleased mountain of documents, do you believe that true accountability is even possible if the public only ever sees 10% of the total files. We cannot let the size of this number intimidate us into silence. The value of questions is dedicated to tracking these review processes every step of the way. We will not accept redacted for an answer when the truth is hidden in millions of pages. Thanks for watching.